Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new here. My name is Kelsey and I'm doing my first Sims speed build today. So we are just jumping right into it. I'm just starting off by demolishing this build and renovating it. We are renovating, I believe it's Rindle Rose in Oh, I'm blanking on the name. This is my first voiceover, guys, so just give me a second. But this is part of my just basically renovating my save file. This is not base game only. It's with all of the packs that I have, and basically just when I start new save files, I can put all of these in here and just make them a little more nice and fancy, because we know how the builds are. So yeah, we're jumping right into that. This goes on a little bit of a roller coaster. We got a lot going on. The vibe changes pretty quick. So we'll just keep going and we'll see what happens. Basically, I'm starting out now trying to find a wallpaper. It took me a really long time. I had to cut out a lot of footage because I just could not figure out what I wanted. Originally, I was going for like a dark toned house. I wanted it to feel like really old, like older than the other ones on the block. Because the other ones in this neighborhood are a little bit nicer. This is the only technically like it's not a trailer home. I guess it's like right on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. But it has like the similar vibe. And that's the only one that's left here. So I wanted it to feel like it's been here for longer than everyone else. So I started out with these brown tones and I ended up just not feeling it. It does end up changing again. I go through multiple roof colors and wallpapers and trims and foundations and it was pretty bad. I was struggling. And then I ended up doing something completely different. So yeah, here we are trying to find a foundation to match. Nothing was just feeling like it was right. And obviously at this time I hadn't changed the windows yet either, but it just wasn't feeling, it just wasn't feeling good. So here I go ahead, I think, okay, this is maybe, this is the end, I found it, everything kind of matches together, but it still just wasn't, it just wasn't feeling too right. So here I am changing the roof trim, and I believe this is right before I go ahead and just change the color swatches of everything. So kind of just trying to make things matchy. Um, so yeah, I think we're getting ready to change. Let's see. Yeah, here I am looking for a new siding. I'm like, okay, I'm done with the siding. I can't do it. It's too dark, too moody for the outside of a house at least. And it was just like sticking out like a sore brown thumb. Um, so yeah, I end up changing it to yellow. We go for a complete vibe switch. We do yellow, bright, fun colors. Um, and that kind of sets the tone for the inside as well. So yeah, here we go. We got it changed to yellow, and this is where things start to really come together. The yellow and white kind of just making things fun. Go through a couple more roof colors again, and then we finally get to where we want to be. I think this house turned out super cute. I was kind of feeling like a certain vibe, like maybe a certain family lived here in this house. We kind of have like a cozy, like kind of older, not super up to date. Like you can tell maybe some stuff is up to date, but some of it isn't. So I was thinking either a possibly grandma or grandparents lived here with their two granddaughters. We do end up decorating a kids room and then we have the adults room. And I was just feeling more just like a grandparent vibe. I mean, granted, it also could be maybe just an old-fashioned mom. Maybe she came into this house, maybe her grandparents or her parents gave it to her, and so things just still kind of feel a little bit old and outdated, but I like the idea that maybe it was a set of grandparents or just a grandma here has her two granddaughters and she's just trying to make it the best for them. um so yeah, that was the vibe I was feeling for this house. But yeah, like I said, this is actually my first speed build. I hope that you guys like it. I really was trying to show you guys the process of things without like overdoing it. So if you guys have any any opinions or anything you would like to see differently or see more of or see less of, please feel free to put it down in the comments below. I will absolutely take any constructive criticism because I'm just trying to make these videos best for you guys. Overall though, back to the build. This build probably took me like an hour and a
Speaking of
half, which
source, did you
I'm
see
a super
what's
slow
up going
builder.
on
So I got this all
with
cut down into about 25-ish minutes. Um, which I personally like to watch a little bit of a longer
Yeah,
speed build,
so
mostly because I just fall asleep to them, so it's nice
I
if I can
don't
have a
condone
little
what
bit
he
of a longer
did.
build.
However, I understand
But I know
that
some
he
people like to
limited
watch like
his
12,
claims on the
13-minute
value
builds, so if you guys feel like it needs to be
because as
shorter,
of
please
right
feel free
now,
to
there's
let me
maybe
know. I can
available
cut
like
out more of the process of me kind of
100%
searching
proof
through.
that guy said what
Um,
he's claiming he
but
said.
yeah, I believe we're getting ready to get
Um,
inside. We're finishing
but
up the windows here. I
apparently
forgot to mention,
it
so I
has
was
come
actually trying
out
to make
that
this a starter
DJ
house,
has
and I did succeed. I
across
think this is the
multiple
first
teams
time
over the
that I've
past
ever
couple years
actually successfully
laid
made a
out
starter
this
house with
plan
just giving up with the
to
budget.
maybe security
Um,
at
so I did
multiple
make this
different
a starter
stadiums.
home. It's under $20,000. So I was really trying to watch the price of everything, which is why you'll see some stuff is just a little bit like a little bit not as nice
Yeah,
because I really was
and
trying
then
to watch the price.
it's
And
one of
just to
those
get the
where
more cheaper
I
things to
guarantee
keep
he
it under that
probably had it
20,000. But
because
yeah,
and
I
like
believe we'll see
again,
it at the end.
even if what he even if
But
what DJ is claiming this guy said
I
is
believe it was like
true,
19. It was
I
like
don't
really
agree with
close to being
the death
20,000,
threats that
but I
this guy and
ended
his
up
family are
getting it
potentially
under.
getting.
So yeah, here we are on
But
the
that's the only reason we had
inside.
the
I was
interview.
struggling to find a wallpaper. I could just not figure out what I wanted, where I wanted it, what colors I wanted. I didn't know if I wanted to kind of keep it more dark inside because I didn't want to feel
Yeah.
too bright. I don't like when places like don't feel cozy and they just feel like too white. So I did pick this wallpaper and I thought that I was going to keep it. It was like the yellow. I was tying it in with the outside. I liked like the plaid coloring and I really did think I was going to keep it. But I ended up changing it to something a little bit more
Another
neutral. Because you'll
another
see
is
here, we get into the kitchen.
how
I pick
about
out these
the
yellow
fucking
cabinets
Colts
from
right now?
the cottage living expansion pack, and I was like, okay, now I need to change the wallpaper because that's too much like yellow on yellow and I really wanted to use those. So yeah, I go ahead and change the wallpaper to just a little bit of more of a neutral tone, but it still has like a white trim to just kind of tie in that lightness. And then we get started on the kitchen. The layout of this I kept the exact same as it
Uh,
was, I just changed everything on the inside. Typically, when I do renovations, I change a lot of the floor plan because it just doesn't make sense. But I really liked the way this one felt.
how
It
about
felt
Philip
very like
Rivers
cozy
though?
and connected, and I liked the way that the kitchen was kind of just this like valley kitchen or this galley valley. I'm not sure which word that is. Um, I like the way that everything kind of just felt tight and close together. So I did keep the layout because I did like it. Um, so I pretty much just changed all the furniture and colors and all of that good stuff. But yeah, I plan to do more to renovations to add into the save file. I have done a couple already, and all of them are uploaded um, on the gallery. So if you want to check it out, my gallery name is Haley9201. This was originally my sister's account and I have never changed over my stuff. So as of right now, it is going to stay that name. But I'll make sure I put it in the link down below as well so that you guys can check out the bills if you're interested. So here we're just still continuing to work on the kitchen. I'm trying to just get the layout set up of everything. I decided the stove would make sense on the back wall so I could put a vent above it, and so then I moved the sink. Um, Here I am trying to find a cheap stove
And
because they're all so expensive. And then yeah, we
I
go ahead
mean,
and get the cabinets in.
I
I
negotiated
decided on this
the
end
total
cabinet on
cost
top
of
of the
my part out
fridge to
pretty
do
well,
it
but
to
I
where it
forced
kind of
myself
was
on the interest
clipped into
rate.
the fridge to make it look like there was actually stuff sitting on top of the fridge instead of sitting on another shelf. So I didn't intentionally keep it that way, just to kind of give a little bit more clutter, especially since clutter was
Do you have
limited
like a
in
couple
this
cars?
build.
Like
I couldn't do
maybe
as much
you're
as I would
going to
love to
look
do,
at,
obviously,
or
because we have to give it under 20,000. But I went to
sick?
make more speed builds where I'm doing like no limit. And you guys can see how I like to clutter stuff up. I'm sure everyone likes to clutter stuff up though, so Yeah, I try my best with the packs that I have. I don't have every pack. I'm sure you guys have noticed probably already. I have a couple of them. I mean, I have like a good bit, but definitely not all of them. Would love to have all of them someday, but right now I'm kind of just chilling with the ones I have. And they have a lot of cute clutter and stuff in them, so I can't really complain. Um, but yeah, so here we are. I got these little pots and pans on the wall because I felt like it just fit really well. And I just wanted some clutter on the wall that wasn't just like a picture or something. So I thought those were perfect for this space. And then I got these kind of like
Well, that and like it only
older
having
containers for
40
the
whatever thousand
utensils
miles
by
on
the
it, like it's
stove,
yeah,
just to
it's
kind of give it that
low.
vibe that,
I'm
things
surprised
are a
that
little
the
outdated here.
place I
So
was
here we
using
are
as rental
moving
car is getting
into
up
the
so quick.
living room. The living
Like
room
they could
actually
still run
came
that for a
together
while.
fairly quickly. I picked out this couch from Horse Ranch and it just ended up being the perfect color. I think I'm about to pull it out here.
Do you
Yes.
have any idea
It
how
has
long
a
it's
little
that
bit of yellow,
lot?
it has brown to kind of make it a little bit cozy, and then it also has some blue, which I ended up tying into the rest of the build. So here I am. I have to go ahead and move the door over because there just wasn't enough spaces in the living room, so I did off-center it a little bit, which I wasn't mad about. And then I'm just trying to figure out this layout. So we get the couch down that we want, and then here I go looking for a chair. I was originally going to do the matching horse ranch chair, but I ended up doing a different horse ranch chair just because I didn't want to
Okay,
feel too
that works
matchy
in my
matchy. I
favor.
wanted to feel like, we're getting furniture from different places. We're not just going to a furniture store and buying the whole kit. So I did do a little blue chair over in the
Not
corner,
necessarily. I
and
mean,
then I
part
go
of
to pick out
it's
our TV stand. I pulled out so many TV stands
it's
just trying to figure out which
scared
one
of
was the
any
right
rental
one.
car
And
the
I
time of
believe I ended
year
up
because
using one
it's
from
holiday
cats and
season, so people are
dogs, if
saving
I'm
for Christmas.
correct.
Um,
Yeah, I believe that, yeah, yeah, this one's from cats and dogs.
and then
I put a little
just
tiny TV on
the
it because that's all
car
we could really
purchases in
afford. And I felt
general
like it
have
made
gone
sense to
down
have a box TV.
over the last
Maybe they just haven't gotten to
2 years
upgrade
or
yet, and
so.
that's okay. So here I'm just getting a little bit of clutter on here. I did go ahead and just get some books. So you guys actually can pull books from this. And kind of just get that situated so it just looks a little bit homey and just not so blank. And then I believe we end up getting a rug.
It
I
was
love this rug
probably
from
whenever they
Cats and Dogs.
initially
If I
did
could
it.
use it in every build, I would. I actually try
Like
to. And
they
of course, it just doesn't fit in
like
every
this
build.
type,
But I absolutely love it. I just think it's
which
so
unfortunately doesn't
cozy.
look good for them, but
Then we get a little lamp over here, still just tying in some of that yellow. And then here I go ahead and get a side table. I also really like this side table from Horse Ranch. I wish that it wasn't so rugged sometimes because I do really like it and it's like nice and small. It fits nicely against things. And then
do you have
here
like
I'm
any
finding
pictures
my
of the better ones in the
favorite
area?
tray table. I love this tray table. I also always just want to use it everywhere. I think it's so cute. So yeah, I did pull that one out for this build. And then here I am finding the curtains. I pulled out so many curtains. It was so painful.
For what they
I ended up
approval?
going with these really simple
It all
base game
depends. I mean,
ones. Um,
I've had
it
same day
was the
approval
cheaper
for multiple
option
things,
and
so it
they were
ultimately
okay. So
depends
I
on the
did go
bank.
with those. And then I put a blind over this middle window, which I actually end up removing the whole thing later on. Over here, we are getting started in the entryway. Things are also pretty simple over here as well. Like I said, guys, we are on a budget, so, we gotta keep things pretty low key. Um, Oh, actually, before we get to the entryway, tricked myself for just placing that on a
Mm.
trash can. I tried to place a plant, just didn't really know what to place, and then I was gonna place a picture above the trash can, but it looks like I forgot to do so.
See,
So
I
we
would
just have a
use
little
the
trash
plant
can
if
there.
needed
Then
for
I am
schedules
getting
max out.
thermostat and fire control. I was gonna put it by the door, but I was like, why would the fire alarm be
It
by the
is super
door? So I did
nice.
put it in the kitchen. Um, so yeah, and then now we're getting started on the entryway. I picked
Yeah,
out this
because then
super cute
if we ever
entryway
have
table. I forget where it was
right,
from. Oh, this was also from
yeah,
Cottage Living. So yeah, we pulled that out. Um, we go
yeah,
ahead and just get some
because it
minimal
is really
clutter
nice.
on
Because then
here,
like
some
say if we
cheap
have a day
clutter,
where
the water bottle, the
shit just hits
mail,
the
all that
fan
good stuff.
and we don't get a
And
chance
then
to
we
work
also
on
get
it,
a
like
mirror up here as
it's
well.
cool because we still have
I
two
think
more weeks to buffer.
so far I really loved the way this was turning out, and I was having a lot of fun building it. Sometimes when I'm doing renovations like this, I kind of just give up because I'm like, oh my gosh, this layout sucks. And, sometimes it's hard to build, but I really did like the way this turned out. And it's always fun kind of getting a little
True.
story in mind before you actually finish it, just so you kind of know what you're building for. So here is where I'm finding a bookshelf. I figured, hey, we need a bookcase. So I picked out so many bookcases. They all were just feeling so big for the space. I ended up picking out this one right here that I ended up placing, and I thought it was okay. So yeah, I did just place that there just as a little filler space. And then here we're moving on to the really small hallway. I went ahead and changed out the doors for some way cheaper ones. I believe these came with the birthday
Right.
update. So I picked those out, and then I ended up just getting a little rug in here. There honestly wasn't really much I could put in this space, so I just kept it pretty minimal.
The big thing is
So
you
yeah,
want to
we
make
went
sure
ahead
they
and got that
understand you're
rug down. I believe I
negotiating the
changed
price
it
of the
one
car,
more
not your payment.
time, which is
So
right
if you
there.
negotiate the
I
payment,
actually
then
ended up
they're just gonna
changing
try
that
and extend your loan out
again
further.
afterwards. There was actually some stuff that I ended up deleting to make more money, to put some more clutter in the kids' room, and I did end up changing that rug out because I just didn't like it. I think I just changed it back to the plain
You
white
know,
one.
someone you could hit
So
up
yeah,
for
that does
some
end up changing.
advice,
Unfortunately, I didn't
Jaden.
get that filmed because it was like so last minute right when I was doing the screenshots, and I was like, let me try to get some more stuff in here. So I did do that. But here we are into the bedroom. The
He
bedroom also came together fairly quickly. The
he
bed I
he
picked
he
out right away. I
pretty
was
sure
like,
he's in
yes, this is
I'm
cozy.
pretty sure
This
he's in
gives like
finance
grandma
now.
vibes,
Cause
with like the yellow
yeah,
blankets and stuff. So we go
he
ahead
got
and just
Chris to
get some
kill the
side
deal whenever
tables
he
for
went
that.
back for his
Um, and then I believe I go in
new
for
RAV4.
some
Yeah,
lamps to put on there as well, just to keep it lit up and nice.
but he might
And
even be able
then we
to,
grabbed this little like
with
vanity
his
dresser
resources, potentially.
from Cottage Living as
If you
well,
give him the VIN, he might be
and
able to
put
check
that
more than what
there.
you're able to
And
see. He might.
unfortunately,
He
this
might.
bedroom did turn out pretty empty just because we didn't have enough money
Yeah.
to put as much as I would have liked to in it. I did get a little picture up here. I got this little like three picture gallery wall to put up here. And I don't know if when I do it, I end up deleting that middle
Hmm.
window so I can keep the pictures like in the center, because I just didn't like how it was off to the side like that. And it also saved us some money. So I did do that. And then here I am getting
True.
a little
True.
corner chair. I tried a couple different ones, but then I just went back to the plain white rocking chair. Everyone needs a chair to throw their clothes on in the corner of the room. I have one, everyone has one, so I always like to get that. So there I go, I placed that, and I placed one little tiny piece of clutter on top of the dresser, um, just to make it feel like it's lived in. Um, so yeah.
I
And
mean,
then I
he probably
believe
give
we
you
start
advice
moving
though.
on to the bathroom here. Um, I try to keep it yellow. Um, I end up I changed the flooring to the one that I want, which was just like the same flooring, just not pink. And then I ended up changing it again because that one was
It's not that
expensive
kind
and
of
I was able to save a
relationship.
little bit of money to change it back. So we will see that later. But here I am. I did decide I want a shower tub combo since we were going to have kids in the house and I just felt like it made sense. So I got this one. It felt a little older and outdated, which is what I wanted. And then here I am just trying to pick out a sink. I was going to do the cabinet, but I felt I could save a little bit of money to do something cheaper. I did play around with placing this one from Cottage Living, but it had a rooster on it, and that just felt a little too country for me, so I did go ahead and get rid of that, and I just kept it super simple in here. We're gonna go ahead and get our mirror, move our toilet paper around, and then get a little cabinet for like towels and
Yeah.
such. Um, so yeah, I don't know if you guys also struggle so bad to decorate bathrooms because they're always such tiny spaces and it's so hard to like keep the walls up. So I apologize, those angles and that camera movement was not very great. If you guys have any tips on how to get in there a little bit better, let me know because I always it's just always so hectic trying to put stuff on the walls and all that stuff. But yeah, everything was kept very minimal. We get a little bath mat and
Oh,
then
that's
that's it.
nice.
Here we are into the kids' room. So I did this one to feel a little more personalized for the kids. So I did give them a cute little flower wallpaper, and then I gave them their own bedding, and just stuff like that to make it feel like it was more ready for the kids and not really so the overall aesthetic of the house. So I look at a little pink and a little blue bed. I kind of set it up. It reminded me and my sister had our beds like this when we were kids, right next to each other, and then we shared a little nightstand. So I did keep it like that. I like setting up kids' rooms this way. I
Mhm.
think it's cute. I mean, if you have a bigger room, I think it would be cool to separate them a little more, but I figured they're both probably pretty young, so they don't mind sharing a room just yet and being right next to each other. So that was kind of my thought process. Originally, I wasn't really sure what to put in here, and then I realized we should have a desk because we don't have a desk anywhere else. And if you end up playing in this house, you could actually just place a computer down in this room, so that way if any of your Sims need to use it, it's in there. And it felt more sense to have it in the kids' room as they have homework to do and everything like that. So I did go ahead. I went through a couple
Yeah.
desks. I didn't really like how this room felt like it came out a little more modern, but my kind of excuse was like, the kids, they come in, the
It's
grandparents
kind of where
are
I'm at
taking
with
care of
my
them. Maybe
car.
they
Like
want to
I
spoil
can
them
get
a little
something new,
bit.
but like
So
I'm
yeah.
also
Oh, and then
I
I
don't want to stay
realized
here
I
another year.
never
Like
got a
we're
dining table.
renewing our
Literally
lease
never
again
got a
because
dining table. I'm so glad. I don't even
the
know what made me thought about it,
uh
but I was
our
like,
rent here is
oh
going up every year,
no. So I did have to fit in
or
a
it's like
dining table, so I
getting to be
did delete that
ridiculous for
bookshelf.
the space
But
that
the
we have.
books that I have by the TV are
Um,
usable as a
but
bookshelf, so you guys can pull them
like you were
from
saying,
there.
Henderson is just
But
so
yeah,
far
I was
east
like,
of
oh,
the
I'm so
mountain.
silly. I gotta get a dining table. So we just put a little simple
So
one
I don't
there
really
with a little
know what
picture
exactly is
above,
gonna
and then we
happen
go back to the
yet.
girls' room.
But
But yeah, like I was saying, it felt a little modern, but I was like, maybe they decide to spoil them,
for
get
the
them new
time
bed sets. Like
being,
that was my dream when I
um,
was a kid, was to have like a fully
at least until
renovated
she's
room.
done
So
school. When
that
she
was
gets
kind of
done
my little
school,
excuse for it.
then
I did try to get
it'll
them some
depend on where
toys
she
in
ends up
here and a little bit of clutter.
getting invested
Like I
on.
said, I did go back in and add some clutter.
Um,
So in the
because I never
screenshots at
booked
the
out
end, you
work
guys will
Friday, so
see
I
that
might
the
as well have it
desk
closer.
has more clutter. And
So,
I believe
so
it's
I don't
just the
necessarily
desk,
want
but it does get
to
more clutter just to make it feel a
move
little more
to
lived in.
Frederick.
Um,
Um,
but yeah, and then I got some posters
if
above here.
we
Like I said, I would have loved to
if we
do
look
more
to
with
move
it, but
like
I at
somewhere that's
least
gonna
felt
be
like it
like
felt like a kid
more
room at this
centered permanent
point,
for us,
so that's all I could really
I'm
hope
kind
for.
of wanting to push for
And then
the
here I am
area.
changing the bathroom flooring
Close
to
enough
save a little
to
bit of
70
money.
to top forty to go
And we are
straight
nearing
to
the
Frederick.
end here. Obviously, I
But
go back outside and do some
quieter area.
landscaping, but I didn't have as
Um,
much money as I would like
haven't
to.
done too
So pretty
much
much all of the
research
plants that we
recently
used
on
are
pricing,
debug,
but
which
I
is
know
okay.
pricing
I just wish I
ranges
could have put maybe
really.
like a grill or maybe a swing set out there. But if you play in this house, you're obviously more than welcome to do that. There is room for it, I believe. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna just get into this little side yard. I ended up placing a little tree in the back just to make it feel like it fit in with the world still. And then here I am just finding basically the same plants I use everywhere, at least in areas where it's like grassy like this. So I pull out some of the debug stuff. Actually, in between me landscaping, I did go get Twisted Mexie's Better Build and Buy. I had tried using it previously, and I believe I downloaded it wrong because it was very buggy in my game. So I did go ahead and try again, and it worked this time. So it made debug so much easier. Absolutely love that person for making that mod. So yeah, this is me just pulling all that out. So this was kind of a new experience, just getting all these plants and all of that from debug because it was always just so annoying to find them before. But I think it turned out really cute. The front was very lush. I did forget a mailbox. I was just thinking about that. I
Kind
deleted
of
the
surprised
other
I've
one,
gotten
and then I forgot
text
to place one.
message to load it.
Um, and there's also no outside trash can. I'm so sorry. I can go back and add that.
Yeah.
Are just finishing up the rest of this landscaping. I'm just adding a couple more bushes, a couple more flowers, and just getting into it. And then we end up just putting a little picnic table out here because that's all we could really put. But yeah, like I said, if you wanted to add more to the backyard, please do. Or I guess it's a side yard. I think there's plenty of room to add a couple more activities, but it still is on the smaller side. So here we are just picking out this picnic table and placing that. And then we're gonna get into screenshots. So I just wanted to say thank you again so much for watching this video. If you have any comments, any constructive criticisms, anything you would like to see more in the next video, please let me know. And just if you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. I plan to keep making more. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed everything. And here we are just picking out that plant. I ended up picking out this tree that I just felt like was like way too modern. So I ended up going with just a simple little plant in the front just to make it more cozy, which I believe I'm placing now. And then we're getting into screenshots. So thank you everyone. Bye.